Alright guys, welcome back to the Velvethamma show. It's Sunday after New Year's, first week of 2016. I got a 2008, or 9, this is a 9, GMC Savana half-ton utility work van, whatever you want to call it. I worked on it a little bit last week, but since I was having problems getting uploaded, I just kind of kept going and got a little frustrated with the whole getting videos up thing. But those of you guys who've been following my channel this weekend have noticed that I got a whole bunch of videos up, and the internet at home is screwed up. Uploads are failing constantly, so I just ran up to my wife's office, and they have business class cable DSL, which has almost 5 megabits per second upload, which is pretty quick. That's why you guys got all the HD video uploaded. If I had to do that from home, it would have never happened. Some of those videos took an hour or two on her internet up there at her place, but you know, I'd rather upload them in HD because YouTube sort of chooches them down anyway, and once they go through the editor, you lose a little quality. And I like to have a little bit higher quality, so I'm searching for internet providers. Unfortunately, we're kind of in a dead zone for internet, and we're stuck with DSL, so I keep waiting for the local cable provider in my area to give some better internet service. The biggest problem is it's not down my street. It's like half a mile away from my house, and they have, sorry about the bouncy cam, they have fiber optic internet, and they won't bring it down the road. I don't need fiber, but I'd love to have cable. We have DirecTV at our place, which is fabulous, but doesn't leave a shit for being able to have good internet. I'll get you guys cranked up here on the camera stand. Just going to make a little walk around video of this and talk for a few minutes, but at any rate, this area down here, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Basically what I had, there's a structural member in this van side that runs right through here, and it was punched in here and here because I believe it hit one of those concrete posts like at a gas station or something like that, to keep you from hitting the gas pumps, and it pushed it in here and here, and it's been sitting that way for about, well, I've known about it for a year and a half, so it's been sitting at least that long. But it was sort of folded over that member, and there's a body line that runs through here. It caved it, and because this was pushed in, it pushed this out way up into here. I mean, we're talking probably a 10-inch repair above the body line and 6 below. It was just a nightmare to pull out. I fought it for probably a good 7 hours, working around and trying to do it. I pulled it with a pin welder a little bit for the real bad stuff. You can't get behind this panel because there's basically, if you can picture this almost like a truck, there's an inner rocker panel down here, and you can't get behind it to push this out. The inner structure wasn't bad, it's just the outer got folded into it. So I pulled it as close as I could get it, and I won't lie to you, there's some sin in this body line. I can't pull it out, it will not come. Every time I pull on it, it screws something else up. So it's as close as it can get. This is just a light skim of body filler up here. It's probably 16th inch for the majority of it, but as you get down here, yeah, anyway, it just wouldn't come out. Would not come out, and I'm not an expert at pulling metal. So what I've done, I've wiped this entire top once, and the bottom, or I'm sorry, twice. This is 2 wipes. It's real close. It's in 80 grit right now, and I'm going to get this blocked out down here and see what I'm working with. Probably have to put a little piece of tape as a guideline and maybe even spray some guide coat over that to figure out where I'm at. But that's the side panel repair. And I'm just going to kind of show you some of the stuff that's going on this one. They wanted me to fix I guess you'd call it a pretty small dent in the back door. So you can see there's the badge on the back door, and I got a piece of tape over the body line. I'm just gonna melt it into here. I wiped this once. I pulled a little bit of it, but you can't get to it because it's below the area where the door folds down. So I got 90% of that out. And then it's pretty dark over here. It's gonna be hard to see. The van's dirty. Yeah, you can see the doors level here and here, but it's punched in here. I don't even know if that's worth messing with. It's punched in down here too, from opening it up into different things. I'm sure over time it just, you know, or the wind catches it, takes it out of your hand. So that's where I'm at with this one. I'm going to answer a couple questions, and I'm going to cut this video short. I tried to answer all the questions that I had previous on all the videos. I've been really working to try and get those all taken care of, but basically I had some questions. Some people want to see a video on actually blocking filler work and how to get them straight. I can tell you right now that it's an experience thing, and you just have to work at it. But when you sand body filler, get the biggest block you can get to cover your repair. I think this is a 12-inch Durablock. If I had a longer one, I might use it, but I'm trying to keep 80 grit scratches out of this paint. Now this filler is going over sanded paint out here, but once I do a final wipe on this with some glazing putty, it's going to go all the way out onto this paint and seal up this repair and hold down those edges. There's two trains of thought on doing this. Put it over bare steel, put your filler over bare steel, and not have any paint touching it. And the other train of thought is bury your whole repair in filler so you're only sanding on paint once you get it blocked down and get a feather edge on it. And what that helps do is hold this this paint edge down where it transitions from steel to the factory paint. And basically you're gonna sand at an angle when you sand, so that it cuts this flat. And always I try and start with either 80 or 180, depending how thick the filler is. I might knock this down with the DA and power block it, which I'll show in another video. But when you start getting around body lines and stuff like this, I mean, it's really difficult. You see an air file laying here on the floor. I use that to knock this down a little bit, but they can get away from you. This panel's pretty thin, and when you're using the air file, it makes a hell of a lot of noise, especially with an open, uninsulated cabin on this truck. It's crazy. Another question I had was how to separate pinch welds and drilling out spot welds, and how to do all that. That's another one of those things. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. Whatever way works best for you, but I'll get a video at some point here and try and show that. A lot of these jobs, I want to tell you guys, I get them in here and sometimes they have to leave quicker than I anticipate, so videotaping a complete job start to finish is darn near impossible for me. So I apologize when there's skipped steps and things omitted that you don't get to see, but a lot of times my channel ends up being kind of a follow what I'm doing, not a step-by-step how-to, you know, that kind of thing. A lot of times when I got into this and started doing the YouTube thing, I was watching a lot of guys for tips and tricks and learn new methods. You kind of, I don't know how to say this without sounding arrogant, but you kind of have to have a feel for how to get into these repairs, and then start watching some videos and see different methods on how guys do it. It's really difficult to do a start to finish, how to use every tool in your toolbox, you know, how to use a block, how to use a board file, how to use a body hammer, you know, any of those things, how to weld. If you're going to get into body work and do this kind of thing, or you're working on your own restoration project at home, you're just going to have to search around. You might not learn how to weld body sheet metal from me. You might learn it from somebody else, but you got to do a lot of searching on YouTube. I've been combing YouTube for 5 or 6 years now, watching different guys, and learned a lot of stuff, but I didn't learn everything that I do from the internet. I had a strong grasp on it before I started, and it just takes time. I mean, you guys got to be willing to put in the time and be patient. I'm willing to answer questions whenever I can, but a lot of times it's overwhelming, and this is only one of the jobs I do. I push snow in the wintertime. I'm own a landscape company. I'm a full-time contractor in the summertime. I mean, it's too much to show every single step. So I hope you guys understand that, and I'll do the best that I can. I always try to give you guys a tip when I think about it, and try and aim you guys down the right path for success, because it's so frustrating when you're starting out, because if you don't have the knowledge on how to use tools, especially like specific tools, if you're not a welder or you've never used any kind of dent pulling machines before, or sanders or applied body filler or things like that, you're going to find that when you get into this stuff, no matter how much you think you know, there's always room to learn something else. I mean, you might be able to be an expert at doing body work, but then you get into the paint work and find out that it's not as easy as it looks. I may look like I'm very comfortable doing what I do, but there's a lot of times where I'm stressed about how the job's going to come out, because I don't want to buff a whole van side panel like this and dragging a camera around the truck while I'm painting it. It just adds to the stress level. You could knock that camera stand over into the truck, or whip an air hose into it and break $1,000 camera. I mean, just stuff like that. Try to do the best I can. So hopefully you guys will stick with me. I'll show you everything I know a little bit at a time, and when I come across stuff that I think are good little tips and tricks, I'll always show them to you. So take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon.